Hey everybody, Mike here with Trail 7, and I'm super excited to be here today. Today we're going to announce our official partnership with Alpine. Joining us today is Colin. So as you can see here, we have a whole table lined up with just a little bit of the components that Alpine has put together specifically for your Jeeps. So we have a couple of Jeep components, we have a couple of JL components, and again, so much more to bring to the table from Alpine, but let's talk about a couple of these things. So here we have on the table the i509 for the JL and the JK, and Colin, tell us a little bit of the highlights of the 509 for the JL and JK.
Sure. So the 509, JL, and JK, they share a lot of the same componentry, and really the feature set is nearly identical. They're both weather resistant 9-inch HD screens. Great resolution. They're both tuned for Jeep, so they come out of the box with an EQ and all the settings preset to make your Jeep sound like $1,000,000. And these things are rugged. They're intended for that Jeep environment and to live in the Jeep world with the rain and your top is off, you get caught in a downpour. These things are ready for it. They're ready to go.
That's awesome. Thanks, Colin. So one thing you said there is that they are the weatherproof, right? And we hear that over and over again. Are the speakers weatherproof? Is the head unit weatherproof? The components weatherproof? Not only that, but these are perfect and set up for the Jeep. This is not a head unit frame bracket for any other vehicle, but for the Jeep JK and for the Jeep JL. So let's take a look at the JK sound system. Sure. This is the PSS22 WRA, right? Sure. This comes as a complete sound system for the JK. Again, why don't you tell us a little bit about what do customers get from the complete bundle?
Absolutely. So again, this is an IP-rated weather-resistant sound system. It's intended to go in a Jeep that we all know your Jeep at home is capable of fording water up to 33.5 inches tall. So we want it to live up to that capability and legendary status of the Jeep. The subwoofer and the amplifiers are IP66 rated, so they're ready to handle that water. The speakers are IP53, they're higher up in the vehicle. They're ready to handle moisture and rain and all that the elements can dish at them. These things are plug and play. So all the harnesses that come with this kit, right out of the box, they plug into your Jeep. You're not gonna need crimpers, you're not gonna need a soldering iron. These things are as easy to install as we could possibly make them, and we wanted to make it so that you could drop it in yourself.
So yeah, I mean, if you know anything about Trail 7, and what we do is we try to create plug and play bundles that make it easier for you at home to be able to install the electronics as a do-it-yourselfer, right? Being partnered with Alpine means that these bundles have already been engineered to be a plug and play. I mean, the wire harnesses are labeled, they are set up and ready to go lengthwise, of course, for your Jeep. So although all of these harnesses come pre-made and plug and play ready for your Jeep JK, we're going to show you over the next couple of weeks, couple of months, some time here, how to in detail install all of these components in your JKs, in your JLs, in your Wranglers, in your Gladiators. We're gonna mix and match a couple of bundles. We'll get creative with it. We'll really just try to make it even easier for you guys. So taking a look at the JL side, now we just entered the JL side on Trail 7, so we're playing around with different components, and again, Alpine has the perfect bundle, the PSS24 WRA. What's included in that bundle?
So this bundle basically takes your 4-inch Jeep stock speakers and upgrades them to 6.5-inch components, both front and rear. Again, weather rated. One little known thing about these speakers is that they are intended for the small airspace in the pod and the dash and the small airspace in the sound bar. So, where a lot of universal car speakers are intended to work in a big open car door as far as how much air is behind the speaker, these are intended from the ground up for that Jeep environment. They're voiced for the Jeep interior, and they are made specifically for the Wrangler. These are not our universal line like our S Series, R Series, and X Series, which are all excellent products, but they are not intended for Jeep like these are.
To hear that the speakers are engineered to function sound proper in these pods, that is just fantastic. So with all the great components and everything great made specifically for the Jeep Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators, let me ask why, right? Why would Alpine go through this to make this specific for the Jeeps?
Absolutely. So Couple things we noticed about the Jeep environment. First off, it's one of the noisiest environments in a vehicle, and Jeeps they're made to go off-road. They're not made to be super quiet vehicles. So what the sound system is intended to do is overcome that wind and road noise, especially when the top is off. We all know that when you take the top off of the vehicle and you're cruising down the highway at 70 miles an hour, you try to turn your sound system up and it's the original sound system, you can't overcome that wind and road noise. These types of kits absolutely can. They reproduce bottom end that's not available in the base sound system at all. And really they kind of dive into giving you way better performance all the way around and keeping up with everything that's going on in that truck.
All right, so you mentioned something about the rugged ability and specific for the Jeeps. Now I want to touch on the compatibility with amplified systems versus non-amplified systems.
Sure.
Right? So I know that all of these systems here advertise that they're not compatible with the factory amplified system. So if you have the factory amplified Alpine system, which is you have the amplifier and you have the subwoofer in the back, it says they're not compatible. But is that really true?
So out of the box, they're not. But having talked with Mike from Trail 7, we're actually going to make some modifications to these kits with Trail 7's help, where they're going to basically modify the harnesses so that these can be plug and play with some of the premium sound system vehicles.
So that is super exciting, right? That we're going to be able to work together to come up with a plug and play solution for the Alpine equipped Jeeps where we can upgrade to a better system, better sounding system that's plug and play and easy to install, and I cannot wait to dive into that, and we're going to. Another thing that is pretty easy to notice, it stands out, is the finishing. In having installed this 509 in our Jeep Gladiator, immediately you notice that the bezel fits right around there.
From the get-go, we wanted these to look like they were part of your Jeep, not like they were an afterthought, not like they were an aftermarket part that was just added on and didn't really belong there. So we use factory silver finish. It matches what's on your door handles and some of the other trim in your vehicle. The head units, the lighting colors match your dash lighting, so it doesn't look like it's out of place. It looks like it's a Jeep product, and it really stands out and makes us stand above some of the competition.
It does, I think that's one of that when you're adding something onto the Jeep, does it look OEM or not, right? I know maintaining that OEM look as being a Jeep enthusiast is very important, right? So being able to get the upgrading that one of these head units or system provides to your Jeep, but still maintaining that OEM look, like this bezel wrapped around the JK, that stands out. That means a lot.
Both of these kits have subwoofers that are intended to go under the passenger seat in the vehicle, so they take up minimal usable space. For some people that have bigger bass demands, Trail 7 is going to come out with a package that's going to address those needs, so that if you want more output, louder bass, deeper, tighter bass, that it's coming.
That's right. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this Gladiator kit and possibly the JK kit, and we're going to kick it up a notch, right? This is what comes from Alpine in the box. Well, what else can we put with that from Alpine? What else can we marry up with that to take this system to the next level? All right, since I mentioned the i509 and the bezel, we did install the i509 in a Gladiator recently. I've had a little bit of time to play around with it. Not nearly enough time. I will say that this is a system that requires some time to spend with it, right? It's a easily adaptable plug and play system that does retain all of your factory controls. However, the amount of adjustability that you gain out of this thing, is far more than just a quick plug into.
We try to make our head units easy for the customer to use right out of the gate. They include features like wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. So all the features and apps that are on your phone right now are going to translate over to the screen. But these things have a lot more capability than that. They can read out gauge functions right on the touchscreen. They can do, in the JL's case, you can operate your climate control if you have automatic climate controls in your JL from the touchscreen. We have a new piece called the KAC001, which is our external accessory controller, which allows you to turn on light bar, winch, any electric accessory from the touchscreen. You can actually have up to 8 switches on the screen. So there's a ton of features packed into these units. Some of them you will take a little bit to get used to, but once you've played with it, it's a phenomenal thing and an awesome way to utilize in your Jeep.
Awesome features. As you mentioned, it retains the factory and the add-ons. What about the DVR that's compatible with that?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up because the DVR camera that we produce, our DVR C320R, that camera, it's going to record out the windshield of your vehicle all the time, and it can also record the contents of the cabin. So if you leave your doors off, your top off, it's actually recording the whole time. So if somebody got in and tried to tamper with your vehicle, you'll know about it. The other things that DVR does, and a lot of people think of it from a security standpoint, and of course the driving protection standpoint, God forbid that you were in an accident, I like to think of the more fun things to do with that DVR, which is that if you're off-roading, it's recording your entire trail adventure. Literally, it's recording everything out the front and back of the vehicle. You can play that video back. You can share it with your friends. You could share it to social media. So it's almost like having a GoPro stuck to your vehicle all the time.
No, it's like fun and safety.
Absolutely. All rolled into one piece. It's
all in one piece. Yeah, that's great. Integrated into your head unit.
Absolutely.
That is fantastic. Another great feature of the Alpine i509 is the ability to dial in your factory Alpine system. So if you have the factory installed Alpine, the amps and the subwoofers, this head unit really ties in well with that system, that you can dial into that system and you can really kick up that factory system.
Yeah, with just the change of the head unit in the vehicle, just our 509 platform radio, your factory speakers are already going to sound light years better than they do now. Basically, once you put these radios in your car, you're going to notice that it unlocks a ton of potential with the factory sound system right out of the gate. So even if you just start with our radio, it's automatically going to make everything in that Jeep sound way better.
Now, I understand that there are a couple of other features on here with the Sirius XM and the Tidal app.
If you guys are Sirius XM 360L or Tidal users and you subscribe to either of those services, we have some great technology built into our head unit that will allow you to use that. We're the first to partner with Sirius XM 360L on the aftermarket radio side to offer that content. So Sirius XM 360L, think of it like basically like a DVR for Sirius XM. So if there was content, let's just say we'll use an example, Howard Stern. You know, you missed a Howard Stern show from 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. You can actually pull that up on demand and play it back. It's almost like having a DVR built into your car for your satellite radio content. We also have the feature on board with a Tidal app that's embedded into the radio. Now, a lot of people look at that and they say, well, why do I need Tidal built into your radio? Because Tidal's already in the CarPlay app. Well, Tidal through CarPlay cannot offer high-resolution sound. It's limited to roughly CD quality sound. It can't get into the high-res domain. However, Tidal does offer high-resolution tracks. They're only available if you use the Tidal app that's built into our radio. Nobody else is offering that right now. That's an Alpine first.
So we covered a lot of information there with just a little bit of the components that are offered by Alpine for the Jeeps, which just leaves this huge opportunity for us to do more and really build on this. And I'm really excited. I know that Trail 7 customers are going to be very excited about what we have, what we can come out with the gate, and what we can create and put together and we can showcase for them. So I really appreciate you coming out, Colin. Thanks for coming and explaining this, spending the day with us, and super appreciate the partnership and really look forward to it.
I'm excited to see where Trail 7 takes it. I know you guys are going to come out with some great stuff to add on to the stuff that we already have.
So if you're interested in picking up any of the Alpine equipment, we have already launched the product line. Please visit us at www.trail7.com, and until next time, we'll see you on the trails.